I'm just gonna get straight to the point here. Netflix is slowly killing you. But if you're a man watching Netflix, it is doing you the most harm out of anyone else. And here's why. If you take the knowledge in this video, you'll be headed towards the right direction in life. Basically, most movies and shows are built off a similar structure that consists of 3 steps: the conflict, progress, and the solution. So this is when the characters in a show are often given a problem and their overall goal is to work together and solve the problem. This leads to the characters finding solutions and building ideas for the main problem. The more you watch the show, the more progress the characters make towards the end goal, and the more exciting the show gets, making you more engaged to it. The characters will go through ups and downs in their journey of completing the goal, but 9 out of 10 times they will end up completing that goal, which leads to the solution. All the hard work is finally paid off, there's no more conflict, and the characters end up being successful with their mission. Now the 3 steps I just mentioned, in that order, are basically the life of a male put in simple terms. Men are always faced with a problem, and it is up to them to identify it, make progress towards the goal, and find a solution. The thing is, when you're feeding yourself this framework off shows or movies via vices like Netflix, your brain thinks that you're actually out in the real world making progress towards real life goals, but you aren't. You're basically feeding yourself a false sense of accomplishment, and your body subconsciously likes it. Your body likes this sensation because it thinks you're actually achieving a lot in life, and it also thinks that you're fulfilling your role on Earth as a man. But in reality, you're doing the complete opposite. It is literally the same exact concept as beating off. When you beat off, your brain thinks that you're having intercourse with a female and that you're ready to pass on your genes onto the next generation. But in reality, you're doing the complete opposite, and your brain cannot tell the difference. The problem with Netflix is, once you turn off the TV, once you unnumb yourself from the pixels, once you come back to reality, you realize that you have accomplished absolutely nothing. Yeah, once you're watching the show, you're fulfilled, happy, excited, but once all of that is off, you'll get a feeling of being unfulfilled and empty, because you're giving yourself a false sense that you're achieving your purpose as a man, but you actually aren't. One of the main aspects that makes a man is that when they're working on something. If a man isn't getting stuff done in life, they will always remain unfulfilled. One of my teachers this past semester was telling my class a story about when he first retired. He told us about the company he built in his 20s and 30s. He told us about all the hard work he put in the company. He told us about all the progress he put in the company. That once the company got big and was ready to sell, he eventually sold it and was set for life. After selling his company, he decided to retire and spend his whole life relaxing. That only lasted 42 hours. Yes, this man lasted 42 hours retired before he decided to get up and start working on something else. Because he couldn't resist just sitting and doing nothing with his life as a man. This is why vices such as Netflix are so addicting. Because whenever you open the application and throw on a show, you will subconsciously get the feeling of fulfilling a purpose as a man without putting in any type of work. Instead of spending hours getting a false sense of progress and achievement, take that time and find your real purpose in life and start making real progress. Let's say you take the time you spend watching shows and you take that time and start going to the gym instead. You will be identifying a problem that is your body that needs improvement. You will be making progress towards being more fit, and you will be achieving the body of your dreams in no time. And while you're so focused on making progress in the gym, you can't help but to notice the benefits that come with the progress you're making. You will notice men respecting you more. You will notice yourself getting more attraction from women, and you will have the body of your dreams. But what I just listed are the side benefits of what happens when you start working towards your goals in life. The real benefit you will get from this is that you will overall be more fulfilled and more satisfied than the man you were just sitting on that couch doing absolutely nothing. You will actually be more satisfied nowadays because you're actually fulfilling your role as a man on Earth, and you are living in your full masculine, which is actually pretty rare nowadays, and I hate to say it. Today, most men just sit comfortably and waste their time on Earth with no purpose in life. And yes, I said waste time, because they're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing when they watch these shows but stare at a wall. You will always hear people saying, "Oh, time flies, oh, life is short." But these are the same people who are watching these shows on a daily basis. And they're actually making their lives even shorter by indulging in this type of content. Let's take one of the most popular shows on the platform nowadays, Grey's Anatomy. Each episode is about 43 minutes long. After each episode you consume watching Grey's Anatomy, you are stripping 43 minutes away from your life. But when we take a closer look, there's an average of about 22 shows per season. And there are 18 seasons in this show. You can do the math. This is already a lot, but most people who have Netflix accounts usually watch more than one show at a time. Having an abundance of shows is a gift and a curse at the same time. Back in the day, you had to wait a whole week to watch the next episode of the show you were watching. But today, that isn't a problem. Nowadays, you are given everything at an abundant amount. But this can ruin people who cannot control themselves. The thing is, only a small percentage of people have discipline nowadays, and not everyone limits their screen time. This reminds me of back when I was in high school. Back in the day, I would get home from school, grab a snack, sit on the couch, grab a blanket, and throw on Breaking Bad. I would watch the show until nighttime for numerous weeks. Not only could I use that time to better my life and better the situation I was in, but I rewatched the show for a second time, wasting my life even more. Imagine how much of a turn your life can take if you allocated that time towards building a business, building the body of your dreams, learning a new language, and securing freedom. But instead, most people decide to take the comfortable route, sit for hours on end, and numb themselves from reality. Because that's all that it basically is. Netflix is an escape from your reality. You are numbing yourself for a limited amount of time, distracting yourself from all the problems and stress in your life that all come back once you turn off that TV. Why not change the direction of your life and use the time you spend watching all these shows to improve your life so that you won't have to escape from it? Everyone has an escape to their life, whether it's consuming drugs, consuming alcohol, consuming junk food, watching TV shows and movies, video games, etc. And some people indulge in these escapes more often than others. Instead of escaping, we need to live our life to the fullest and live in the present, because we only get one life at the end of the day. Nowadays, everything is a distraction from one's present life. You have video games, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, and most people have all of these applications on their phones and use them all in one day. Now, when you stack all these applications all in one day, you're stacking up more and more time wasted, and it's doing you more damage. Next thing you know, you have wasted all your time on Earth, you're 80 years old, and you're wondering to yourself, how did time fly by so quickly? I wish I did more with my youth. Why didn't I accomplish all these goals I had set when I was younger? And you will live the rest of your life with regret, and you will suffer. I don't want you to end up like this, but this happens far too many times, and I've already made a couple videos on this topic. And regret is one of the worst pains any human can feel. I've had many older people tell me if they could only go back and relive their youth, they'd live their life completely differently. They would take more risks if they had the chance to. They would spend more time with the people who matter in life. And most importantly, they would stay away from distractions and actually live their life. I'm not telling you to cut Netflix completely off, but a balance is key. You can even use it as a rewarding system where you're improving yourself and you reward yourself with a show here and there. But you ultimately decide, because it is your life. I'm not telling you what to do or how you should live, but I'm just advising and supplying you with the best advice that will get you to live the life you've always wanted to live.